What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Titus, and I really appreciate you guys joining me today. And so today I've got something for the new people. If you're just joining Element Fission for the first time, there's tons of videos, but I'm gonna throw my 2 cents in on how to get to farming the most efficient as possible. Now, I thought about this because I've been trying to talk the missus into playing this game, mostly because I just have really enjoyed this game, and she kind of enjoys these kind of games too. So I kind of made this video in the idea of like, this is something she could watch, where if you really want to set up your campaign farmer and get to leveling up mons as fast as possible, this is what you're going to do. This is the track you're going to follow, right? So as soon as you start opening the game, one that is a really good guiding light is always going to be your mission tracker. Now you're going to follow your mission tracker and try and get these done as fast as possible for all of these juicy rewards. There's tons of batteries, there's fusions, there's all sorts of stuff. But one thing in here that I think is actually crucial to getting set up for success early on in farming the campaign so that you can farm up a bunch of, mons and stuff like that, is actually, and I don't know where it is, actually, it might not be in the missions. Okay, now with the magic of TV editing, you guys don't have to watch while I search for like 10 minutes trying to find it. This right here, leveling up any Element to level 40, it's going to give you 4 pieces of the vampire set or lifesteal. I believe it's vampire in this game. Why is that important? I'll tell you in a second. But one of the most important things to setting up your account for success in terms of leveling up mons and farming is making sure that you are doing your arena as often as possible. As you can see, I've been slacking a little bit because I've been busy, but you're going to want to come in here, and every day you're going to want to clean this place out. Even if you are just going to the training field and you're killing off all of these basic AI enemies, you're going to want to come in here, you're going to want to do that. Why? 2 reasons. One, and my personal recommendation for the very first thing you level up before anything else is the energy saving lamp. Why? It's going to reduce the cost of the energy that you use in the game by 50% when it's fully maxed out. That just means you get to do more stuff. Energy is the lifeblood of all of these games. It's how they time gate things. And so having something that reduces all of the energy costs by 50%, absolutely crucial. You're going to want to come in here, you're going to want to level that up as fast as possible while you're moving through the campaign, right? So you're going to move through the campaign and you're going to be leveling up. You're going to be doing, you're going to start with normal, you're going to go through, you're going to do hard so that you can get all of that stuff done. And you're just going to move through. Now, my personal recommendation as the first mon that I 6-starred and I don't regret. Now, this is subject to change because, for instance, if in your first pull you get a bookworm, maybe bookworm is the guy that you go with. But for me, the person I had the most success with early on as my campaign farmer until I got Water Garolian was Tree Sharpshooter. Now, if you get Water Garolian first, this will probably be the first person you want to 6-star because their ability to clear campaign is chef's kiss. So you're going to go through and you're going to level up that energy reduction tower pillar guild hall thing. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. And you're also going to work on getting your first 6-star. Now, once you get your first 6-star, whether it be water tree or tree sharpshooter, Water Garolian, now what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to swap them out in the campaign stage that you can do the best in. Now, realistically, with Water Garolian, I could do Secret Base, but the amount of experience I'm getting is only about 100 more. And I have a attribute, affinity, element, technically would be element. I have an element advantage with Water Garolian in the armory. So that's where I do all my farming. And what you're going to want to do is you are going to want to farm up with 3 wisps, 3 food. Now, by the time you get to this stage, the next thing you want to focus on is in your arena shop. After you've filled up your energy saving lamp, you want to work on your experience capsule improvement. Why? Because this is going to, as you know, at the end of every stage or whatever, a little bit of all of the experience that your mons are getting is being siphoned off into this capsule. So you want to upgrade this to 50%. Once you've got that fully maxed out, that's when you come over and you find the stage you're comfortable with that your mon can do 100%. Speed does not matter, I promise you. I was starting to think that I wasn't going fast enough because I had so many energy batteries sitting in my inventory, and I still do have quite a bit. But also I started to realize that now that I've hit level 50, every time I'm not leveling up anymore, so I'm not resetting my energy, and thus those energy batteries are starting to move. You know what I mean? What you want is 100% efficiency. You want to be able to clear this stage, never failing, and as long as it doesn't take you 10 minutes to get there, you're looking good, right? Now, I had mentioned that if you don't have Water Garolian and you don't have Bookworm, there's two other options that I think are pretty useful. One is Tree Sharpshooter. I don't care. I will die on that hill. She was an MVP for my account for a long time, and she still kind of is. She's going to serve dual roles, right? And that's kind of what you want early on, especially if you're not a massive whale. You want someone who fills out multiple roles at once. She's going to be your nuker in Boxing Club. She's going to be your campaign farmer. And honestly, even at this point in my account, and this is mostly because I really haven't touched much into the dungeons, with the gear that I have available, honestly, even in arena as a single target nuker, she pops people. Level 60 pops them. HP bonus pops them. One shots. Bang, bang, bang. You know what I mean? So if you go with Tree Sharpshooter, you want to try and get to Impression Swamp Insane as fast as possible. Stage 6 or Stage 7. Now I was doing Stage 7. As I understand it, there is actually no difference to which stage you do for Wisps or experience. I think the Stage 7 is more efficient if you're also adding on the fact that you're getting extra chances at higher gear, and so you're getting a little bit more gold, but I think it's kind of negligible because this is mostly about leveling people up, right? And so I'll kind of show you right now. I'll go in here, and under the predication that we have the other two things fully maxed out, the capsule and the energy cost reduction. If I come in here, and of course I've taken the gear off of her, but one thing that I definitely think as a side note everybody should get into is making up gear lists. These gear lists essentially allow you to understand where the best sets your account can make, like then and there, right? So for instance, I have one for dungeon. This is my nuker set. This is literally the best fully crit capped, crit damage, attack up. This is like kind of the best damaging set sort of that I can put together, right? There's a few caveats. For instance, if I had a crit up person on the team, then I could obviously drop this crit rate down a little bit and in favor of more attack and crit damage, but I don't on any of my teams right now. So this is kind of the best, most consistent damage set that I could put, right? What I have under others, I have a campaign farmer set. Now, as you can see, Water Garolian is wearing all of those pieces because Water Garolian is my campaign farmer. Now, the reason I'm using this is because the lifesteal set, I think, or vampire set, 35% lifesteal, I think is an absolute godsend for early campaign farming, because while your run will be slow, and I'll show you now, the run will be slow, but it is 100% consistent because I have a favorable affinity. As you can see, she one-shots everybody. It takes her a while because she's only single target, so she's gonna have to single target everything down, but it's absolutely no fail. I've never failed in this position using the vampire set. And so we'll just speed up through this run and I'll come back to you guys at the end. All right, and now we are done with the run. And as you can see, the capsule has gotten an extra 9,000 experience. These guys are all maxed out. Now, the reason we're doing this is because we'll just, whatever. The reason we're doing this is because, and if my game, there we go. If you use Wisps, they all have a passive where they get 50% extra experience from battles. That means that the capsule is going to be bigger than it normally would if you run it this way, right? Another good person to call out in kind of the same vein is Water Sharpshooter. I don't have a Water Sharpshooter to show off because as I was about to build Water Sharpshooter, essentially to do this stage the same exact way, I pulled a Water Garolian. Basically, the reason she's really nice is because if we can find Water Sharpshooter somewhere over here. There we go. Decreases your cooldown by 1 turn and gain an extra turn if you kill an enemy during your turn. This is giving you a crit up. This is the defense down. And of course, when you 6-star her, the damage against high health enemies is better, right? But basically, the reason she's really nice is because she's going to, her build requirements are a little bit nicer because you only need to build her with 70% crit. She's going to give herself the other 30%. So you can build her a little more damagey than, say, my Tree Sharpshooter. But every time she kills an enemy, she's going to get a turn, right? And so basically, the way she does these waves is she just one taps everything in a row. It, again, takes a little bit longer, probably a little bit faster than Tree Sharpshooter. So if you want to, I would actually say Water Sharpshooter, because especially you get her for free right at the start of the game. If you 6-star Water Sharpshooter as your first choice, not predicated on anything else. Like I said, we'll say you're super unlucky, you don't pull a Water Garolian, no Water Sorcerer, no Bookworm, none of that stuff. Water Sharpshooter or Tree Sharpshooter, I think are the two options that are going to be the best for you. Like I said, Water Sharpshooter is nice because you get her right off the bat. Booking her is going to be really fast. And she's a little bit faster because she's just taking extra turns every time she one-taps an enemy. Tree Sharpshooter gets my vote, even though she might not actually be the better of the two choices, simply because not only is she going to be your campaign farmer, but she's also going to be your damage dealer in Boxing Club, right? And so double dipping is always nice when you can get it done, right? So now we've got everything leveled up. We got 3 Wisps. We come in here and again, super important. If you do not have a set, if you cannot put together a set that, I think he was using this one right here. I have 2 of them basically built a little bit differently, depending on where I was at the time. I probably could just get rid of one of those sets. Now I come to Water Garolian. He's doing this stage. We're getting a ton of experience. And this is essentially, once you get this done, you are set. The only differences you make to this setup is once you start spending more time in the dungeons, you start getting gear that makes these runs faster. But like I've said before, consistency is more important, especially if you are free to play, low spend. Consistency, in my opinion, is far more important than speed, because eventually you're going to run through all of your water batteries. Your energy batteries, sorry. And you're only going to really have the energy that you get for that day. Along with, of course, if you get a couple batteries, like every day you log in for the event, you can spend, I think, like 10 gems to get 2 batteries. That's a pretty good deal. That's 100 energy right there, right? As you can see here, my time on this run was a little bit lower because we didn't get as lucky. I actually saw that there was a couple times that he didn't crit, even with the positive affinity. He's only hitting about 90% crit chance. So I could improve this a little bit. I could bring up his crit a little bit, and I have done so. But even with like the best damaging set I have on my account, he still doesn't one-shot the waves. And I have actually had times where he fails because on that 3rd wave with all of those turtle tanks, there's an instance where without the lifesteal, you take a couple, you don't one-shot the wave, you take a couple of unlucky stuns, and he can die. I have seen it, and it is unfortunate. So that's why I keep him in that lifesteal, because I'm not making any meaningful gains in his speed, and I also don't want to fail. Also, truth be told, that best where it says 26, that was in this set. If the stars and moons align and he gets a bunch of lucky crits, or he gets more consistent crits, he can actually blitz through this in 26 seconds, which is not as fast as some of what I've seen other people talking about with like 14-second clears, 20-second clears. But like I said, I'm going for consistency, not speed. Until, again, I get enough gear to where, okay, now I can go for speed. Because obviously, less time spent in game, you know, consistency is good for people who have the time. Speed is better for people who don't, right? If you only have 10 minutes a day to log in on Element Fission, you want your runs to be 14 seconds long, right? But at the start of the game, your biggest focus is getting that consistency. So, in your arena every day, and I'll be honest with you, if you use a couple of gems to refill in the beginning, right? You get 10 free. Well, the cap is 10. They refill. I don't actually know how quickly they refill, but let's say you've got your 10 tokens a day and you let it refill to another 10. So you're using 20 tokens. So you're getting all of the AI out the way. If you want to use 50 gems on a refill to pick off some of the easier defenses that people leave at, especially at lower ranks, so that you can get these two things maxed out as fast as possible, I actually think that that is a great idea. Because the faster you get the energy saving lamp and the XP capsule improve, fully maxed out, your account will be set to farm as much food and as many champions as quickly as possible. Because especially right now, the name of the game is just leveling stuff up and testing it out, right? I mean, I'm obsessed. I keep smacking myself upside the head because I'm like, listen, man, you need to get into those dungeons. You need better gear. But then I'm like, well, yeah, but like, I mean, I kind of want to test out my Psychosurgeon. You know, I just pulled Fire Sorcerer. I just pulled Water Surgeon. I pulled Fire Queen. I don't remember if I actually pulled, I think I might have pulled her off camera. Actually, I just got a wild hair up my butt and I was like, you know what? I want to make some pulls. So I was spent some gems to buy 10 Elerium, and in that 10 pull, I got a fire music queen. So my biggest thing is that I really want to test a lot of these guys out because I see the vision. So for me, getting set up on my account so that I can farm food as fast as possible and as efficiently as possible is super crucial. Oh man, Jesus, you guys ever just talk for, you know, listen, I've got a PhD in Yaponomics, okay, with a minor in Yapology. One time I had someone tell me that I talk as if I get paid by the syllable, and I use that in my everyday life now. I love to talk, but that's enough talking for me, guys. I think that is the game plan for anybody who's new, to set up your account so that you can farm champions up as fast as possible. So let me know what you guys think. Leave a comment down below, like, subscribe, all that fancy YouTube stuff. It really means a lot to me. You guys have really been showing out and helping the channel, and I cannot express how much that means to me and how much I love you guys for that. But that's been all from me today, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video, and until next time, I'll see you.